way that the Home Office has conducted itself, together with the Foreign Office, in dealing with the many Afghan refugees who helped British forces in Afghanistan when we were there. The way that the Foreign Office and the Home Office have failed in their responsibility to look after those families and to look after those people who put their lives in danger for us is simply disgraceful. And Johnny Mercer, who is utterly charming in the House of Commons at the dispatch box, a great a great contrast to Suella Braverman, calling people on the Labour benches friends. It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing, but at the same time, he is hampered by the limits of his job, by the constraints of his remit, and he's hampered by the Home Office defiance of the promises that were made to the Afghans who had been helping us. And it's a sorry story. Listen to what he's got to say to a person from the Labour benches who is talking about a constituent, and her constituent, who is a British national, is now caught in a position where his family is poised to be deported from Pakistan to Afghanistan, where their lives will be in danger because of his activities helping us during the Afghan campaign. It's shameful, really.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me try the Minister with this one, because he says he wants to make sure no one is deported who's entitled to be in the UK. My constituent is a British citizen whose children and wife are currently in Pakistan, threatened with deportation to Afghanistan. They were invited to the Baron Hotel. An explosion meant they weren't able to get there. Mr. Ullah is terrified because he worked with the Allied forces, but because he's a UK citizen, they are not eligible under either ARAP or the AKCRS scheme. Family reunification visas would cost more than £20,000. Return to Afghanistan means certain danger. He's penalised by his status as one of our citizens. In the light of his bravery and service to our armed forces, will the Minister use the budget that he says isn't a problem to waive those fees and bring Mr. Ullah's family here to safety?
Minister.
Immigration policy in this country is very clear, and the immigration policy that outside ACRS and ARAP, which is what I've been asked specifically to deal with, is a matter for the Home Office, as my old friend knows. And I recognise her question, I genuinely do, but that is a question for the Home Office on immigration policy. I will work night and day to make sure everyone who's eligible under ARAP and ACRS is returned to the United Kingdom in line with our promises.
Sir Ben Brudge.
He said a number of times that the government sought assurances from the Pakistani authorities that they won't target those Afghans who are eligible to come here. Has he received such assurances? And if not, if he doesn't, what's he going to do about it?
Minister.
Look, I can confirm that I have received verbal assurances from the Pakistani authorities that those individuals are not going to be deported, right? I have to work night and day to make sure that line is held, and I've made it clear to this House and to the country that we don't want to see any one of those deported, and as I've said to my honourable friend and to others, I don't want to see that line crossed, and if it is, then I'll return to the House and make a statement on it.
Rachel Maskell.
And beyond this story, there's also further questions going on at the moment about the sort of accommodation which is being offered by Ministry of Defence in military, ex-military bases, and the level of the quality of accommodation is being questioned, with black mould and boilers that don't work and so on. And again, we're back to the same issues where it doesn't matter how much money the government says that it has spent. In the end, the problem is the failure to process applications and therefore to give these people the dignity to work and to earn their own money, to contribute to our society, to contribute tax, and to pay for their own upkeep. Instead, we're in a position where we are having to fork out money for second-rate accommodation and then whinge about it. All we have to do is change the terms on which people come to this country.